Hey, this is Robert Naini, your spray foam advisor, and I want to talk to you today about building code compliance, specifically from an energy performance standpoint. And if you're familiar with the IECC for residential energy code compliance and the IECC for commercial code compliance, or the IBC energy code, that's part of the IECC package. You have a couple of different options, and they're a little bit different for residential construction and for commercial construction. And we'll talk about a little bit of those differences. And specifically, really the first two paths, if you look at the residential energy code compliance, there's three ways you can be code compliant. And on the commercial side, there are two different paths that you can use to be code compliant. And these two paths on the commercial side are the same as the first two paths on the residential side. So they kind of mirror each other, but you get a third additional option on the residential side to provide energy code compliance. And what I'll do is I'll break down each of these. I'll give you kind of a glimpse at each of them right now. And then over the next 3 weeks, I'll have a video that really details each one of these types of code compliance, just to really expand on these principles and share some of the specific language from the building code. So let's get right into it. What most of us know is the prescriptive code compliance. This is where the black and white of the building code, what's actually written on paper, this is where we use the specific R values, we use specific U values, we actually take the black and white letter of the code directly out of the code book and we put it into application. We put it into the building. This is when your builder calls you up and says, I need a quote for R13 in the walls and R38 in the roof because I'm in climate zone 3. This is what he's talking about. He has been trained throughout years of construction practices based on his climate zone that there's a specific way to meet code compliance for energy purposes. And the way to do that is R13 in the walls, R38 in the roof deck, and he meets code. And that does work from a prescriptive standpoint, prescriptive being the black and white letter of what the code says. Now, as there is with almost every code requirement, there's another way to achieve it, and it's the performance path. The code allows for alternate methods provided that it has similar performance or it meets the intent of the code. And the code allows, specifically the energy code allows, a performance path where an energy modeling analysis can be conducted to show that the structure you are creating, the structure you're designing and building, meets the same intent and provides the same type of energy performance as the building code minimum structure. So the prescriptive path describes the minimum required structure for that year of the code, and the performance path allows you to do energy modeling analysis to show that your building, as designed and built, is going to outperform the minimum code structure with R13 and R38 insulation, for example. The third method, and both of those methods, the prescriptive method and the performance method, works both for residential and commercial. Now, the third method for residential is the energy rating index, and this is actually new in the 2015 code. The energy rating index allows you to compare the performance of your building with the performance of the code minimum building in 2006, and you have to meet certain criteria. Specifically, you have to be about 45 to 55% more energy efficient than the code minimum structure in 2006 using the ERI, which is the energy rating index. And if you're familiar with the energy rating index, it's basically the HERS rating that's used to provide code compliance. Once again, you have to have an analysis report showing the detailed analysis and comparison back and forth, but this is another path to code compliance when it comes to energy performance for specifically residential construction. This has been Robert Naini with Spray Foam Advisor. Thanks for checking us out. Catch us on some more videos.